This happens so often now. Something new comes out in a series, or just something new comes out in general, and there's a point where people just don't understand, and then they just blindly hate. But I feel like this happens more so in long-running series, in both film and video games. And I know this count is mostly about video games and other geeky culture, but I'm gonna say Stranger Things is within said geeky culture. 5 has caused so much of a divide in this fucking community, especially episode 7 specifically. And I hate it. There's 2 big points I want to point out mostly, but the first... Okay, there's 3 points. We all know what the main discourse for episode 7 is, and how the scene plays out, and how people are dumb about it. But there's also 2 more, main topics that get brought up when talking about this. First one is more so just people not understanding and people not getting subtext. By the way, spoilers for season 5. The breakup scene between Nancy and Jonathan. I guess people were confused that it was a breakup scene. I don't know how you couldn't understand that. They go on to list all the reasons why they're incompatible and how they don't mend well with each other even though they care for each other. They call it an unproposal, meaning, hey, we're stepping back. We're this is not a thing anymore. And then the motherfucker throws the ring. If that wasn't clear enough, did they really have to spell it out for you? I know we just established that we are very incompatible and I threw the ring. But this is over, right? Yes, we have broken up. Short of the episode description being Nancy and Jonathan break up, I don't think they needed any more to give you. When the dialogue and the, writing is so on the nose, people talk shit on it. But then once it's a little more subtle, people get confused. They can't fucking win. So that's point number 1. Point number 2. People think just because a main character doesn't die means nothing happened. What the fuck is wrong with people nowadays? This happens a lot. And I talk about it in anime groups as well, and doesn't really happen a whole lot in video game groups for some reason. People just want people to die for them to be excited or for there to be stakes. The stakes are there. Even if we don't think anybody's gonna die, doesn't mean that there isn't tension. It's not about how is it gonna happen, how this character is gonna live or how they're gonna win, but how do they lead up to the win? It's oh my god, this situation seems crazy. How are they gonna get themselves out of this situation? Opposed to, oh well, who's gonna fucking die this time? A death needs to be really well written for it to matter. But also, death doesn't have to happen. If you want death just so you can have shock value, then that's not a good death. And most people don't want their favorite characters to die. I would love for everybody to survive. If somebody does happen to die, then that sucks. But as long as it's written well, and it's very few and far between, then it can be impactful. We've had death in this series before, but you can't be Supernatural later on where, everybody's getting bipped left and right and feels like nothing they do mattered because, oh, well, we saved a bunch of people, but now they're all fucking dead because we want shock value and we just have to keep the story going somehow, so the only way we know how to do it is to kill people off. Death isn't the way to make stakes. It's... People call, the writing in these episodes lazy, but using death as the one way to create stakes is the lazy way of doing it. An episode isn't crazy because somebody died. The ending of Volume 1, with Will going fucking, like, literally mental and breaking the bones of the Demogorgons, that was hype as hell. And, like, up to that point, you're like, oh my god, how are they going to get out of this situation? The Demogorgons are gonna kill them. And then Will pops that out. That was hype. No one in the main cast needed to die for that moment to hit hard. Like, you could easily write that off as a Deus Ex Machina moment. But they are able to explain it, and it works, and it's hype. Do not need death in the series for there to be stakes. You don't need death for there to be excitement. Like, it's about the journey. Even if you have all the heroes live, it's about how they win. Except for some stories where they lose. Like, I don't like Akame ga Kill, for those who know anime, because, spoiler alert, again, I can't talk about characters' death without spoiling shows, but almost every fucking character in Akame ga Kill dies. And it's a trend. It's like, main character gets connected with character, they die. They get connected to the next character, they die, until everybody but, like, the main woman lead, who the show's actually named after, is the only one alive in their group. Like after the third or fourth death, I'm like, I got tuned out. I'm like, nope, this is done. I don't care. I actually don't care anymore. Like, it was awful, and I, for some reason, am the minority in this. But yeah, no, we don't have to kill off characters. We just don't. We just don't. Now going to the big one, the big season, volume 2 ending. Before we get into the last episode, the big scene that people are the most extra stupid about was the Will coming out scene. So this episode's been review bombed to hell because of this scene, and that's kind of why this scene needs to exist, just in general, because clearly people are still not comfortable with this type of, coming out. People who think that it came out of nowhere, we've been leading up to this for at least since season 3, where they kind of made it obvious that, oh, he has feelings for Mike. Before, he was just kind of basically asexual, where he just didn't care, and that's what at least what I assumed. But then, season 3, like, okay, he actually has feelings for Mike. He's gay. But then there goes the other people who say, well, we knew that he was gay the whole time. It's not about what the audience knows. It's about what the characters know and how they treat each other. Like, us as audience are privy to a bunch of information that our main characters aren't. We see both sides. We see what other characters don't see. Like, when we go and see the evil mastermind's plan, that doesn't ruin the whole movie or show just because we know what the evil guy is planning. But we want to know how do our heroes figure this out and then combat it. Yes, having a twist villain is fun, but that's also been overused, and now everybody's just expecting a twist villain, which makes it less of a twist. But just because the audience knows something about a character doesn't mean that we can't have a scene where that information gets released. Like, have some media literacy. Like, shows and movies and games would not work if we were just as blind as everybody else. That's why, like, Legends of Vox Machina and Mighty Nein, when they transfer from a D&D campaign to an animated series, they give us different perspectives that we normally wouldn't have when playing a D&D campaign, because that's how stories are told. If we only saw the perspectives of, essentially, if it was a second person point of view, where we only follow the main group of people over their shoulders, it wouldn't work as well, because the audience doesn't have an understanding of what's happening in the world as much. It only works in stuff like D&D campaigns. And that's why, again, those anime series changed it up. So yeah, it's not about us knowing as an audience what Will is. It's about his insecurities about it, and him coming out, and his fear of being rejected because he is this way. And that's character development, which people don't understand. This is a big character moment. It doesn't have to, but it does. I'll explain that later. But it doesn't have to pertain to the main story for there to be a good reason to put it in. I had a comment on me arguing about this online where somebody's like, who gives a fuck? Like, who cares what other people do sexually? Like, who cares what your sexual orientation is? Just fucking say it and move on. One, that's not how that works. Plenty of people do care, and plenty of people still don't like any sort of gay representation in media. I get it. I don't like forced performative representation either, but that comes from any ideology. That comes from any sort of LGBT. That comes from religion. That comes from politics. Anything that is performative in a series is uncomfortable. It's instead of it being naturally written in a way that flows with the story, it does feel like you're shoving it in our face despite the story. That's not what's happening here. We had good lead up to this point, and this is a teen in the 80s. This is not 2025, where it is, even though there are people who are still adamantly against it, but we are way more relaxed now. In the 80s, it was almost a death sentence to come out as gay, and that's why this moment hit so hard too, and that's why there was so much time spent on it, because like the reason why Will was going through the past and going through his memories and being like, you know, I love it when we do this and that we play this game and then we, you know, had these drinks, and like going over memories is like, hey, I'm the same person. I just don't have the same sexual orientation as the rest of you. And that is freeing for him as a character. That is a big character moment, especially in the 80s. But that is an insecurity that Vecna could exploit, which they fucking exploit in the show. Why was it there? Why are you doing this right before the final battle? It's like, because if he didn't do it before the final battle, Vecna would use that against him, because a character who famously uses people's insecurities and fears against them to mentally cripple them will use that to mentally cripple Will. So when he lets out all these insecurities and he feels free, that's something that Vecna can't use against him. That's making Will stronger mentally to go up against Vecna, somebody who plays with the minds of people. It's important to have that scene. And thinking it's cheesy just because it's emotional and like everybody, you know, we have a big group hug. Like, sometimes, one, let things be cheesy. It's not bad writing for things to be cheesy, but also let things be emotional. Just because they are having a moment doesn't mean it's wrong or bad writing. Like, that kind of stuff happens in real life, and we don't need a quip to break the tension. Like, they let the moment breathe, and that was good for the character. It was good for leading up to the final battle, where everything's been released now. Everybody, like, he could go in fully confident. It's just so aggravating how people are treating this scene with a 2025 mindset first off, and then still missing the point and showing why the scene needs to exist in the first place. Like, it's not woke, which I hate that buzzword. It means nothing anymore. But it's not woke to have a gay character and to have that character express themselves. Like, and he's not like, you know, he's not going to start, you know, wearing pink mesh V-neck tops and pierce his earrings and get a, like, side shave and be insanely flamboyant and then talk about penis all the time. Like, he's gonna be the same character. Like, this hasn't ruined the series just because he came out. Like, calm down. Like, they showed him being a badass. Like, honestly, this is great representation for the LGBT. Whereas, like, hey, this is like a seemingly normal teenager. In the show, he's a teenager who just happens to be gay. And it's just tough in the 80s to be gay. But he could still broke Vecna's neck and spoke through him with his mind. That was cool shit, yo. Yeah, some things are corny, but like just let that be. Like, it's not bad writing to have these little extra moments. Like, there is obviously a suspension of disbelief when you are watching a movie, like, or watching a series. But like, what I ask of people is just have some emotional maturity. Like, we have been so desensitized as an audience where if somebody doesn't die, then it's not emotional. Like, there's too much talk and I don't like that. Get to the action. Like, people clown on MCU, but then that's apparently all you people want is you want shallow stories with a bunch of action, which is not even all of MCU. There's some fantastic things in MCU that have great emotion, but what people think of like the MCU is apparently what you want, because when it's not that, you review bomb the episode. Yeah, just emotional maturity of everybody complaining about the episode. And I'm not saying the episodes were perfect. I'm not saying like you can't criticize. You could have fair criticisms. Like, how are people still blind to the fact that there is something otherworldly happening when there was a fissure that went through a town and now there's a military enclosure? Like, that whole scene with Robin and her girlfriend made me mad. Like, her girlfriend, like, I'm like, how are you that dumb? And even Rob was like, I am not on drugs. Have you not seen what's been happening? Like, I am so glad that they did the whole like Demodogs attacking, cause like I was gonna have a conniption, I swear. So yeah, episode 7 was a great episode. Me and my friends who were watching, well, me, wife, and friend who watched, teared up during the will scene, and I feel like that's the more correct reaction than being mad at the scene or somebody saying that their wife or their girlfriend laughed during the scene. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, oh my god. Again, people are just desensitized. Like, step back. Like, go to a sauna. Like, fix your brains, people. Like, wow.